Namaskaram, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 6, Atma Samyama Yogam, Sloka 8. In this sloka, Lord Krishna says, the yogi who are satisfied by knowledge and discrimination and have conquered their senses remain undisturbed in all circumstances. They see everything, dirt, stones, and gold as the same. So in this sloka, Lord Krishna explains the qualities of yogi. How yogi, following karma yoga and attaining at different elevation points. At each level of his elevation, what are all he attaining? How he is developing his qualities to become Atma Rodan. So he says here, one who has got that jnana, that is knowledge, and that knowledge becomes vijnana, jnana, vijnana. So he gets the knowledge, with the divine knowledge, he gets the knowledge about Atma. So Atma jnana. So when he is putting effort and when he is going up the ladder, that is in the process of karma yoga, he is attaining the divine knowledge, and when he in this process he controls his senses and he remains contented and he remains not perturbed by anything wherever he is, in whichever circumstances he is, he controls himself and he has a very controlled mind. And he looks at everything equal, whether it is stone or whether it is mud or whether it is diamond or gold. He looks at it equally. He is not giving or he is not getting attracted by diamond stone or whether it is gold or whether it is mud. So as far as he is concerned, everything is the same. So he is a yogi. So the yogi is above all the dualities, whether he is honored or dishonored, he remains the same. He is not getting upset or he is not getting excited when he is appreciated. So he is above all the dualities and he is trying to find out the Atma. So he is in that process and he realizes he is I am Atma, and that Atma is much superior than Degam. I am not Degam, I am Atma. So this is what the yogi realizes. So Lord Krishna explains this process of attaining the knowledge, this knowledge, Atma Jnanam. And yogi realizes that Atma does not undergo any change. Only the Degam, the body, undergoes the changes like youth or sickness or old age. So here we find when he realizes the Atma and Paramatma, that is, he attains Atma Sakshatkaram, he becomes Yuktan. So Yuktan, the yogi who goes through this process and he attains the Atma Sakshatkaram. So Atma Lokana, this vision of nature of one's own self as transcending body and as characterized by knowledge as basic attribute. So you get the knowledge, that is a base, and on top of it you transcend the body. That is, you are not getting attached to body and you are not giving importance to body, and when you get into this process, when you realize that you are not the body, you go to find out, or you are taking effort to find out the nature of Atma. What is Atma? I am Atma. So Atma is self-eliminated. Atma is Anandamaya. Atma is knowledgeable. Atma is always happy. So this is what the Yuktan realizes. So what is needed here is the divine knowledge. So he goes in the divine path, he gets the divine knowledge, and based on the divine knowledge, he goes through the process that is yoga, and he absorbs God. He's absorbed the body and mind absorbed in God, and because of his mind is filled with God, he has no other thoughts. And with the thoughts of it, always he has the thoughts of God. He is getting detached to material world, and he thinks of only Atma and Paramatma. So he is called yogi, and this yogi attains Bhagavan. So Lord Krishna says all this in this sloka. So how do we get into get a divine knowledge? You learn from Guru. You listen to Guru and you read scriptures and get the meaning of scriptures from Guru. So you are hearing and you are doing that manana, that is you are contemplating on that, and you apply whatever you learned from the scriptures and Guru, you are applying it. So your wisdom is added up. So Vijnana, you are realizing the Atma. So that wisdom takes you to realize Atma and Paramatma. So this is how you are going up the ladder. And you feel, because the Atma is illumined, it is self-illuminated. So naturally, the one who has got Jnana and Vijnana, he gets illuminated, that he gets that brightness by intellect. Intellect is brightened up because of this divine knowledge. And yogi always, he thinks of God. So he sees everything. So when he attains this stage, when his intellect gets illuminated, or when his intellect is guiding him, then at that stage onwards, yogi sees everything as part of God. Whatever he sees, it is only a manifestation of God. So he sees everything equally. This is what Bhagavan says. He sees everything, whether it is stone or whether it's a diamond, whether it's a mud, whatever he has in front of him, he sees everything as one. So he is not getting attracted by this. So in the sloka we find Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Triptatma, the one who has realized the knowledge and the effect of what is the use of getting that knowledge. So he is at that stage. So he knows very well he is in the realized stage. Then we find Kutastha. Kutastha, one who distances himself from senses. The next one, Vichitentriya. Vichitentriya, one who subjugated the senses. So one who is keeping himself from senses, and who is completely away from senses, that means not getting detached from senses. And Yukta, one who has gone up the ladder of Karma Yoga, Yukta. That is one who attains the Atma Sakshatkaram. Then we find Triptatma. Triptatma, one who has realized that the effect of this. What is the effect of divine knowledge? You see everything as same. So that, and you remain the same. You are not getting perturbed wherever you are. But the surrounding does not make any difference in you. Because you are completely absorbed in God. So nothing around us disturbs us. So wherever you are, the place does not bother you. So you are not affected by that, because you have a controlled mind and you have controlled your senses. So he is a yogi, and this yogi attains Paramatma. So beautifully at every stage, how a yogi attains different points of elevation is well explained, and at each level how is he referred. That is given by Lord Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna says everything about it. So he is making how the wisdom is added to a person, how we get jnanam and vijnanam. Jnanam is already there, and vijnanam is adding more knowledge, that is divine knowledge, and he gets that controlled intellect. So the intellect is fed by the divine knowledge. He has a controlled mind, controlled senses, and is very contented with that. He is reaching the uppermost step in the ladder, which was explained by Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, in the earlier slokas. So here we find the Atma, the Swarupam of Atma, the original quality of Atma. Atma is self-eliminated, Atma remains happy always, and Atma is knowledgeable. So, and it only changes the body. That is depending on the karma. So, Atma never undergoes change. It is like gold. The gold is used for making different types of ornaments. And whenever you convert bangle into a ring, or ring into something else, chain or whatever it is, only the shape and design of the ornament changes, but the quality, the original quality of gold remains the same. So Atma is also like that. So the Atma remains same always. That the qualities of Atma, self-eliminated, then knowledgeable and happy. So that, but when we do not have control over mind and senses, we keep doing the karma, and karma keeps bringing the karmic reaction, and that Atma keeps getting birth and death and getting different bodies. So Atma is like the gold. So the qualities of gold remains the same even when it's converted to different types of ornaments. So yogi understands this, the qualities, the swarupam of Atma. And such people always keep God, Bhagavan in their mind. They always, in remembrance of Bhagavan, they always hear the Leelas about Bhagavan, they always chant namas of Bhagavan. So they everything, whatever they do, it is an offering to Bhagavan, and whatever karma they do, it is for the pleasure of Bhagavan. So here, Vibhishnan, Kumbhakarnan and Ravanan, they decided to do meditation. That is penance. They were very sure that would take longer time, and they wanted undisturbed atmosphere. And their sister Suparnaga was guarding, and she was controlling the surrounding and supervising with anyone coming and disturbing them. And they started. Indra came to know about it, and Indra played many tricks to disturb them, because he was afraid that they would, if they impress the demigods, they would get the boons. So he was, because he was always scared of his possession. So he was afraid, and he gave we made many tricks to disturb them, but nothing was done, because Ravana was very careful. Ravana knew that Indra would come and disturb. So he told his sister also, and they continued their meditation, and they did it. And Brahma was very much impressed. So Brahma asked Ravana, yes, I am very much impressed by your meditation. You tell me, what do you want? Then Ravana said, I want immortality. Then Brahma said, no, that you cannot attain that. Then Ravana asked, okay, I should not be killed by Gandharvas, Devas, Yakshas and Rakshasas. Brahma said, yes, that can be granted. He granted that. Then Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna he had his desire was mainly in sleeping and eating. So he asked Brahma to get him the desires in eating and sleeping to be multiplied. Yes, that was granted. Then he asked Vibhishna. Then Vibhishna said, I want a person to be a righteous person, and I should not be swayed from dharma, the path of dharma. So please bless me to follow only dharma always in any circumstances. Then Brahma was very much impressed by the way he prayed. He said, you are already a righteous person, so you have that, and I will grant you that you will be immoral. So I am granting that immortality to you. So this shows how true karma yogi was Vibhishna. He didn't expect any results from that, and he wanted only the good qualities. He wanted only to be in remembrance of God. He wanted only the path of dharma. So he was a true karma yogi, and Brahma was very much pleased, and he blessed him with immortality. Whereas here, Kumbhakarnan, you find tamas guna was more. Vibhishna, he had more of sattvic guna. That is why he asked that. He asked only the positive thing. Whereas Kumbhakarna, since he had more of tamas, he asked only the temporary pleasure, that is eating and sleeping. Ravana, rajas guna. So he asked for only the long living, and he asked for only the material, the wish related to the material, wish related to the body. He wanted to live for longer time. So this is what we learn from this, how Brahma was impressed by Vibhishna, because Vibhishna asked only the path of dharma, so satvikam, and he didn't expect anything from that. The other two expected. So how gunas played main role, because of the gunas only, each one wanted a different thing from Brahma. So this is what we learn here, how tamas guna made Kumbhakarnan to ask for the temporary pleasure, and rajas guna, that Ravana wanted that pleasure regarding the body, but sattvic guna, Vibhishna asked something eternal. So when we read Bhagavad Gita slokas, the kings who lived by that are given in the Puranas. So when we learn about Vibhishna, we are impressed by the way he lived. So it is a good impression for us, and that makes us go in that way. And what is not to be done also we learn from Kumbhakarna. So our scriptures give us that Vijnana, so divine knowledge, which take us in the right path, which make us a person of righteousness. There is a Pasuram here, Pasuram by Nammalvar. Kannul nindru agalan karuthin kan periyan என்னில் நுண்பொருள் ஏழு இசையின் சுவைத்தானே வண்ணனல் மணி மாடங்கள் சூழ்த்திருப்பேரான் தின்னம் என் மனத்துள் புகுந்தான் செறிந்து இன்றே. In this Pasuram, Nammalvar says, Kannul nindru agalan, Bhagavan is in my eyes. I am not able to remove him from this. It's still there. When we go to temple, we also say, no, I still have that image of Bhagavan in my eyes. So this is what Nammalvar says here. And he says, he is in every atom. It may be very small, but he is Sarvavyapi, he is in everything. And he is the taste of all the sounds. Then he is we relish, we enjoy God, we see everything as God, and we see God in everything, and we enjoy seeing Him in everything. That's what He's saying. And He lives in my heart. He has filled my heart. He is in my heart. So let us surrender to Him, and He will show us good path. And our mind is the basic cause for doing all bad karma. If we become, if we keep God in our, Bhagavan in our mind, then we will not be attracted by any other material objects. And he says, we will make mind listen to us instead of we go after them. Because if we listen to mind, then mind will take us only to the temporary pleasures, and mind will take us to all wrong path. So let's not do that. Let's not see what should not be seen. Let's not hear what should not be heard. And let's not add a pava, that karma which brings both pavam and punyam. Let's not have all this. Once we control our mind will be focusing only on God. So let's take refuge at the lotus feet of God and go in the right path. And let us be a karma yogi and attain Atma Sakshatkara. So everything is ready. Now Alvars have given us Pasuram, and Bhagavan gave us Gita Upadesham. So everything is ready, and we have got body, mind and intellect. Let us make them pure and follow the path shown by the Alvars and by Bhagavan Krishna. Our life will be very peaceful. So there's one more Pasuram by Tirumangai Alvar. This is found in Tiruvelu Kuttarikai. In this he is praising the God, how you won Ravana, and how you helped Indra to get back his kingdom, how you measured with your feet, the 3 feet of land, and you came as a man who gets the arms, and you helped Gajendra, and how you killed the crocodile with your discus. And he is talking about, he is thinking about the divine qualities, the Kalyana Gunam of Bhagavan, and he says, the people, the Chandor, the Andanar, they all worship you. They grow 3 types of Agni, and they chant 4 types of Vedas, and they do yagas of 5 types, and they do 6 types of actions without any defects. And such people concentrate, they go only in Karma Yoga, and they worship only you, and they do not use their sense organs through the right, they do not use them for the wrong things. So they do not go through the wrong path, and they control them beautifully, and they control their mind, body, intellect, agangaram, everything. And they do not fix their mind in Rajas and Tamas, only in Satvigam. So such people are blessed and protected by you, one who carries, who holds Changu, Chakram, that is this conch, then that will bow, then wall, sword and thunder. He says how Karma Yogis are in this, how they have faith in God, how they show their devotion to God, and how God loves them and comes and helps them when they are in need.